Hey listeners, Hit the Books podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube, and more. Be sure to tune in each week and like, rate, and subscribe.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 30 of Hit the Books, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of sports and sports gambling. Each episode, we break down bets and betting advice, whether you're a seasoned sports gambler or just getting started. Our goal is to provide you with the insights and knowledge you need to make informed decisions and come out ahead, so sit back, relax, and let's hit the books. This week, we're ready to review the first weekend of March Madness. Tons of upsets and busted brackets, but we move on. Some news in the NFL during their offseason, and we have an interview with Ben, another sports betting personality, podcaster, among other things. More on that and everything else coming up soon. Like I said, 30 episodes in the books for this season, so I've done this nearly 76 other times. So let's introduce my co-hosts here to join us this week. Most of the crew here in studio, Huff and Mackie in studio. Let's introduce Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Ace, what's happening? Coming in from Rhode Island. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going, boys? Representing the East Coast today. All you guys up in Yinzertown, big Steel City fans out there. Mackie, I don't really know who he cheers for. He likes the Cowboys from New York. I don't know. Maybe he becomes a Steelers fan today. But, excited for another week of sports. Excited to get Ben in on here. And thank you to Huff and Mackie for helping me eat during the first round of that NCAA March Madness bracket. It's really paying off, so definitely tune in for our picks there, and in the NHL and NBA we'll be cooking as well.
Love it, Ace. Love it. Mackie, let's send it over to you next. What do you got for us? You're here in studio, first time this season. What do you got?
Yeah, it's nice to be all together when we're recording. It's always a different vibe here. Wish it could be all four of us, but Ace is a little far away. But first two rounds of March Madness went pretty well. Our records, what are we? 10-4, something like that.
I actually don't know our record anymore on the actual tournament, but got ourselves back up to just under 18 and a half units, 121, 93, and 3 on the season. So do the math on what we're hitting at on that percentage, but been killing it in college basketball. I know we started 9 and 3, so and then had a 2-1 night on Sunday. So, but been killing the tournament. So other than that, not much going on with me, but Mackie, we'll hand things back over to you. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Yeah, right. No, that's all I really had to say. Just been paying a lot of attention to March Madness. NHL cards kind of been steady. Just at one unit, I think right now we're just going 1-1, 2-2. We just gotta kind of hit a stride in the NHL and we'll be good. Really, all I gotta say.
Good stuff, boys. Huff, you want to send us off? You kind of talked a little bit there, but finish off your intro. What do you got for us this week, buddy?
Yeah, not much going on. Obviously, we said March Madness and everything keeps rolling. Our NBA card, college basketball card, keep going. Had a lot of success in the NBA in the past couple of weeks. Like you said, Mackie, NHL's cooled off, but as we get the playoffs and stuff coming up, as we get down to the ground with the last couple games of the NHL regular season, looking to get that card back rolling. But other than that, not much going on with me.
All right. What's going on, Ben?
Yo, what's poppin', boys? How you guys doing?
We're doing great, buddy.
What
nice
a
to see you.
setup you guys have. That is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It's actually our first time able to do it this year. We did it a couple times last year where they were both able to get here and be on site. But Ace is up in Rhode Island. Mackie's here with me.
Oh,
Huff,
nice.
myself. So nice to meet you, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah.
So, are you guys all Penn State alumni?
No, just me.
All right, dude. Micah just left us. No, so obviously what it means for the basketball program, we're not a basketball school anymore. So that was a fun time, but that time's over. We won't make March Madness probably for the next 5 years. I don't want to be Mr. Negative. I'm usually Mr. Positive, but I love Michael Shrewsbury. And then what it means, number two, if you go to the field, I know you've been to the field. If you haven't, then you're truly missing out. No more Shrewsburger. Vibes are a little low, but again, happy to be on. And yeah, this is going to be awesome.
Heck yeah, dude. We're real excited to have you. Well, you gave us a good quick background of what the heck you're doing. You're a Penn State student there. Why don't you give us a little background about yourself, what you're doing, things like that. I saw you're doing some announcing for some Acha hockey and shit like that. That's sweet.
Acha. Yeah, so I got in, so I'm originally from Randolph, New Jersey. Shout out my Jersey guys. Came to Penn State. I'm a junior right now, telecom major. Got really involved. I spent my first 2 years at Altoona. There's not a lot of options over there, but if there's anybody watching that's a 2+2 guy, there is benefits from there, but definitely when I got to main campus, got really involved. Club hockey broadcasting started, I think, in January or February. My boy hit me up. He's like, yo, you want to call these games? I'm like, yeah. Was never something I thought I was going to do, but now I love it. And now it's actually something that I think I might do after college. I do a basketball show, which I just came back from, Basketball Today, something that I got involved with this semester. That's been awesome. Do my personal TikTok. Do my stuff with Com Radio. So a lot of different media things that I do, but just try to get involved in any way that I can. Network with people also. So yeah, living the college kid's life and enjoying it.
Yeah, that's obviously sweet. So the other three of us that aren't from Penn State or Penn State alumni, we're actually all graduates of West Virginia. Mackie
Okay. Country roads, baby.
Exactly. Mackie actually still goes there. We're all former and current, I guess former season just ended, but ACHA club hockey players. Mackie just won the ACC with D2 and Dub V. So
No, the ACC. That was Penn State.
Yeah, we were in the lower division, but we won the lower division.
So I didn't know that. So
no, Penn State is really good at.
No, I know Penn State's gross,
yeah,
but
they're pretty good.
I know the guys. Do they know you? I'll make sure to
I know one kid on the team. I used to play with them, Nate Schumann.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
he's a stud.
Yeah,
defenseman.
he's a very good hockey player. Yeah, I used to play when I was like 16 years old with him. I played in Brooklyn with him, but he's a good kid. Yeah,
that's awesome. There's a kid on the D1 team from Brooklyn, Danny Zaniev. I'm not sure if you know him, but we might be going off topic here. But yeah, back to what you said, ACHA. I didn't even know the league existed until I started calling them. And then I went to the tournament this past weekend to broadcast those games for the D2. It's crazy. Like the fan base is there. There was a ton of people there. And it's awesome. Like the guys are awesome. The fans are awesome. The coaches, like you could literally go up to the coaches, ask them anything. I love the Acha.
Yeah, it is club hockey, but it's they're very passionate about the sport. Playing club hockey, it's a little different in my opinion than other club sports. So, you got all the players very passionate about it and they care a lot about it. So it's nice.
For sure. I mean, it's a huge time commitment, but also monetarily. So you gotta love it.
Yeah, Mackie, like we said too, we were always talking about the ACC down in North Carolina too. I'm pretty sure it's where the playoffs were this year, right?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, it goes crazy down there. I remember that. Huff, remember that first time we were down there knocking over the pyramids on the glass?
Yeah. We always said it. Those fans down there, we don't know why they love hockey so much. They go hard, even for the Acha and in the college hockey. But I mean, we saw what they did in that outdoor game. What was it? NC State versus UNC.
UNC, yeah,
that was crazy.
Dude, that was insane. Can you imagine playing in that game? Like we talked about that, but I mean, that's what college hockey's getting to. And I mean, I thought that was pretty cool to hear from like someone like your perspective that, like you said, you haven't really heard or never heard of the ACHA coming into or when you got to Penn State or before you started calling these games. And obviously we played hockey our whole lives. And I know Ace and Mackie didn't really know much about the ACHA before they got to West Virginia, but it's just cool to hear that from someone didn't really play hockey growing up, because obviously we're all hockey players. Jesse played hockey in high school with me. We actually are from the same area, Pittsburgh, but
that's sweet. Oh, you guys are Yinzers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big Yinzers.
You guys like Pamani Bros?
Yes.
Oh, it's the best, man.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Are you 21?
I'm not. I would be
All right.
21 on April 29th.
Oh, hell yeah.
Pamani
Holy
Bros.
shit. All right.
28th.
28th and the 30th.
Wow. Holy smokes.
That's fucking good. Just curious, because I always loved going up to the bars at Penn State. Man, I was there during COVID, so it was a mess for part of it, but when it wasn't, it was a blast.
What's your favorite bar?
I liked P-Man's. I had a good connection
Okay.
at Doggies that
Okay.
that used to be the Ratskeller. which used to be like the hop in place, and just like they were supposed to all come up for the Ohio State Penn State game when I was away. It was fucking pouring down snow at Penn State, but I had a table there and we were watching the game and shit. But he got COVID. Were you there?
No, I've actually never been at Penn State.
Okay, well
Every time.
you were at Ohio State that weekend.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. So that was a whole big ordeal. But back to what we were talking about. Mackie, you want to go off some NHL or something like that?
Yeah. So we see you're a really big Devils fan. What do you think about all their recent acquisitions with Timo Meier in that first line with Jesper Bratt and Jack Hughes, and how that line's really rolling right now?
Well, it's something that they had to do, right? Like, they got the studs, they got the young talent, but they really needed another one of those guys. They needed another superstar. Timo Meier fits that mode perfectly. A huge guy. I think he's 6'2", 6'3", and he has 35 goals right now, somewhere around that. He's awesome. So Timo Meier, getting him was beautiful. And he also Lindy Ruff can separate the lines. He could play Jesper with Nico and Jack with Timo. And also don't forget about Andre Palat. That acquisition in the summer was beautiful. And if you go back to the summer, I might be rambling here a little bit. I really wanted Johnny Gaudreau. 6 months later, Johnny Gaudreau is on the worst hockey team in the NHL. We got a guy, Andre Palat, who can basically play in the third line. No issues. A cheaper guy in Timo Meier. It's beautiful. I'm a little worried about how they're playing right now. They're not as strong as they used to be, I guess, just a few weeks ago. Jack Hughes' production has gone down a little bit, but I'm still confident that they can beat the Rangers in the first round. And honestly, being a Devils fan, I've been a Devils fan since 2012. That's only 2 playoff seasons, 2012 and 2017, and that 17-18 season. So where they are right now, 5 points away from a playoff spot, is absolutely insane. And I've been loving every second of it.
Yeah, with those Devils, do you think they still lack that playoff experience or veteran leadership? A lot of guys on that team, I know they have a lot of high skill, those top picks we've talked about all year, and then the addition of Meier, but not a lot of guys who have raised a cup before. I know you have Palat. But how do you feel going in against teams like the Hurricanes, and if you can make it further, the Bruins or the Lightning?
See, veteran experience is a weird thing to me because everybody last year said that about the Rangers, and they went on and were 2 games away from going to the Stanley Cup. Obviously, the playoff hockey is different, but I think if you can get past that first round, then you get all the experience you need. So if the Devils can get past the first round, then this whole veteran experience, playoff experience thing, it won't be a conversation anymore. Yes, I guess I'm a little worried about it, but if they face the Rangers, they have playoff experience from last year, but I've seen the Devils beat the Rangers this season, and I still think they can beat them. The Hurricanes, you mentioned them. I don't really think they're that good, to be completely honest with you. They had a huge win last night over New York in the Garden. Massive win. It really changed my mind about them a little bit, but they still lack that elite goal scorer. I think that injury to Svechnikov is big, and we've seen it year after year with the Hurricanes. They can't win a road game. They just flop in the playoffs. But the Bruins in Tampa, Bruins President's Trophy curse, I think that's a real thing. They're still very scary. They got all the experience. And then Tampa, I don't know. I got a hot take for you guys about Tampa. I think the Maple Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup. You might have been asking me that a little later. I think Tampa might struggle with the Maple Leafs in the first round.
Crazy. I've been saying that all year. I don't think they win the Stanley Cup. I think the Leafs find a way to get out of the first round this year. For sure.
It has to happen.
Mackie,
it has to happen.
Mackie,
I feel so bad for Leafs fans.
That Rangers game last night, I almost lied. Hurricanes.
Oh my!
100.
Yeah, you told me you were on the Hurricanes.
Really?
I thought that was a really bad play too, but Rangers found a way to blow it. I don't know. They just couldn't. They couldn't get that win. They needed that win at home. They play them on Thursday in Carolina, and it's always hard to play down there. But I don't know. They just they need to find the offense in games like that. They just they put up 13 goals in 2 games before, and then I guess they potted too, but you gotta find a way to win that game, I think.
Yeah, I don't want to say it was a bad loss for the Rangers because ultimately in the standings, it doesn't really do anything. They're probably going to finish as the 3rd. Hurricanes are probably going to win the division. But if the Rangers and Hurricanes play in the playoffs again, that's a game you look back on that gives the Hurricanes a lot of confidence.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting run there. I just think that the Devils need to get that top seed in the Metro in order to have any playoff success with the young goaltending. And they can put the puck in the net, but playing at home, especially against the Hurricanes in the second round, even I'll say the Rangers in the first round if they end up being that 2 seed. I mean, playing on the road is a whole different animal, so I'm excited to see how the Devils handle it.
Yeah, so am I. I hope I can get to at least 1 game, maybe 2, depending on college schedule and ticket prices. But again, it's been an awesome season so far. If you look back on my Instagram, one of like the previous videos, because I don't post on Instagram that much, is like when the Devils season first started, and I said that they were going to finish 7th in the Metro. So just them being in 2nd right now and in a playoff spot, I'm very happy with. But if they lose in the first round, I'm not going to say it's a failed season, but I'll be extremely disappointed, even though they did make the playoffs. So it's weird to, what's it called? Not adjustments, but expectations. I couldn't think of the word. Expectations change. So now I think the expectations now is definitely to get past the first round.
Yeah, and especially in a loaded East, I mean, whoever you play in the first round, it's going to be a tough, probably 7-game series. But being a Rangers fan, I actually am pretty worried about playing the Devils in the first round, just because of the way that they've played us even this season. And your road record is like incredible. I think it's the best road record in the league. So just having that in the back of my head, just saying that they can win a game on the road. I'm definitely not comfortable playing you guys in the first round, but then again, there's not really a team in the East that I would really be comfortable playing. So should be a good series.
The one team in my mind, if they make it, is the Penguins. It doesn't look like they're going to make it right now. I'm really afraid of the Islanders. As I said, I'm not too afraid of the Hurricanes. Bruins are going to make it past the first round, but yeah, that's surprising to hear a Rangers fan. My best friend is a Rangers fan, and he's not scared of the Devils at all, but I'm happy that you are.
How can you not be? I mean, you guys have kind of manhandled us this season.
They won 2 out of 3, right? Or 3 out of 4. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, something like that. But I just don't. I'm definitely not secure playing you guys in the first round series, especially when you guys have 4 out of 7 games at home.
Yeah, and we'll see. They play each other right at the end of the regular season. I think it's April 16th. I don't know the exact date, but that game's going to be big.
Yeah, it should definitely. Maybe it can mash up the standings a little, get a little interesting.
Yeah.
Mackie, if I were you, I would definitely be more worried about those Carolina Hurricanes. Huff and I have been saying it all year. We think that young Devils team, we think they're a few years away still from playoff success, but it'll be tough to see. The Meyer addition definitely helps.
For sure, and Jesper Bratt's got to get a new contract. There's a few offseason moves that Fitzgerald has to make, but I think it all comes down to how Vitek Vanacek plays in the postseason. Rangers got Igor. All these other teams got their studs. Maybe the Maple Leafs have some questions there with their guy, and of course the Penguins if they make it. But do I really trust Vitek Vanacek? I have my doubts about him. But again, I think if the Devils and Rangers play, it's going to go 7. And I got the Devils, but I think it definitely goes 7.
Every Devils fan I know has doubts about Vitek, but I don't know. He's had a really good season. I don't think there's any reason to have doubt except for the inexperience. But yeah, I'm definitely excited for this potential series.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So you kind of alluded to some of the teams that you think will make it and won't make it. So if you had to pick 2 of these 2 wildcard teams that are going to close off the standings for the East, who would you go with? Obviously, we have kind of a 3-team race with the Islanders, Panthers, Penguins, and then the fall off is the Caps and the Senators, teams like that, and Buffalo down there. But who do you think will win the season in the wildcard spots?
So I'm shocked about the Islanders. If you go back in my podcasts or my TikToks, whatever, once Matt Barzal went down, I said their season was over. No chance they were making the playoffs. Before that, they were playing bad, and now they lose their best player. I'm shocked about them. Somehow they're even better now. As I said before, I think the Islanders are a scary team. I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs. And I don't know. The Penguins are just so bad right now. They can't stop anything. Of course, they got Malkin. Of course, they got Crosby, Letang, and their veteran coaching staff. But I'm going to go with Florida. Florida's playing the best hockey right now. I could see the Capitals sneaking in there maybe, although I don't think they're that good. So I'm going to stick with how it is now. But I don't know. I mean, I could see the Penguins getting in there and getting swept in the first round. But they could get in there, of course.
It's the goaltending troubles. It's what it is. Jari can't stop anything. Can't stop a baseball.
He's terrible. I've said that about him all season. I feel more confident. Obviously, me and Jesse being Penguins fans from here, I've said all season I'm at the point where I'm starting to feel more confident when Casey DeSmith starts for us than Tristan Jarry, because last 3 starts, Jarry's let up 4. He gets pulled in 4 out of his last 5 starts. I mean, there's no confidence whenever you have a goalie in net with kinds of stats and trends like that, where you have no confidence when the team knows there's a goalie behind them that's going to let up that many chances or give up that many goals on chances. It's tough to, win games, and that's where the Penguins have struggled in the past 2 weeks, and it's really showing, obviously, as they were kind of commanding that wild card spot for for a couple of weeks between the Islanders and Panthers, and now them being the team sitting right out of it. They do have the game in hand on the Panthers, but Penguins playing tonight. I believe it's in Colorado. So
In Colorado, and I got the abs in regulation. But going back to what you just said about goalie and your team having no confidence, the Devils last year, all the goalies got injured. They were dealing with Akira Schmid, who I know this year he has good stats, but last year he was atrocious. I don't even know who else they had in net. They literally had zero defense. So I know exactly how it feels.
It's tough, but I mean, I obviously am like you said with your Devils. I'm going to say that they make it, but I don't know how far they're necessarily going to go. I don't think this team is too great, but yeah, we also saw that you're obviously a pretty big MLB fan, Yankee fan. Obviously having success last year, winning the division. Aaron Judge.
No. They didn't have success. Listen, I know you guys are from Pittsburgh. Your success is probably making the playoffs. With the Pirates,
believe me, I don't even go there with baseball. Go ahead, but we don't even go there with baseball.
If you talk to any Yankees fan, including myself, they did not have success last year. Getting swept in the American League Championship is not a successful season. Yes, they won the division, which is something they haven't done in a few years prior. Yes, obviously, they won a round against the Cleveland Guardians, more sweaty than it needed to be. But getting swept at home to a team that dominates you year after year, not a successful season. Yes, I'm sure if you guys would sign up to get swept in the American League wild card, but that was a terrible ending. But I'm still extremely excited about this season that starts in 8 days. So, yeah, I mean, not the best way to end, but they got Judge back. They got Carlos Rodon, who is on the shelf just like every other Yankee right now. The team looks good. They didn't make a lot of moves hitting-wise. They got Rizzo and Judge back. That's the only move. We'll see. I don't want to say I don't want to say I'm negative or I'm doubting the team. They're just injured right now, so I got to see.
It's almost win or bust as a Yankees fan, especially after the season.
Oh, not almost. No, it is. It is, dude. They haven't won since 2009. They pay guys so much money, and I buy chicken baskets and go to games, and I know people who buy chicken baskets every single game, and they're giving us a product on the field who's getting swept to the Houston Astros, a team who has statistically dominated us. It is not almost winning time. They got to win the World Series. Sorry, I go crazy a little bit.
You're good, I love hearing the Yankees.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ace is loving
this.
I
mean, crown them victory every single year in the offseason. It's like, oh, the Yankees have another World Series, literally handed to them on a platter, and they find another way to blow it because they're just not as good as their rival Boston Red Sox when it comes down to crunch.
The Red Sox, they won't even win 80 games this year.
Yeah, but you said
lost half
wait,
the
you said you were dominated.
They got Chris Sale on the show. You know, I got a fun fact to you. When Chris Sale got injured, when that ball hit him right on the hand, I was at that game. I was not a good sight. I know I don't like players getting injured, but I was actually at that game. So fun fact there.
Yeah, you say dominated by the Astros, though. I mean, we figured out how to beat them. And the funny thing is, whenever people say these Red Sox are nothing, what do? Win the World Series. I mean, 2018, 2013. I think there's 3 times we've done it since you guys have last been there. So.
Yep. I'll say one thing about the Red Sox. This would probably make you smile. I would take Alex Cora as my manager every single day of the week. I think Alex Cora is one of the best managers in the MLB. No doubt.
You don't have to gas him too much.
Don't go into his.
And you know what else, though? He was a part of that 2004 team, best team in history. Dude. A bunch of idiots that came from behind and make me the Red Sox fan I am today.
That was terrible. Thank God I was only 2 that year, so I didn't exactly know what was going on. That was terrible.
Love to see the curse broken. You go back and watch it if you want. Dave Roberts, best name you can think of in Red Sox history right there. Dave Roberts. Mac, you know what he did?
I don't even know who that is.
He coaches the Dodgers, has a few World Series rings with them, actually. But
just one.
Yeah. He was the guy that stole the base in Game 4 against the Yankees to start the rally. Stole second base, and the Red Sox go on to walk it off and then win 3 straight after that. Well, 4 straight, I guess. That's what sparked the whole...
living in the past, huh?
Oh, I mean, up till now, the Red Sox have won, 4 or 5 World Series in my lifetime?
Hasn't been good. Red Sox, yeah. Listen, I don't think they're going to be good this year, but, I can't disagree with what you're saying. They're a winning team. It's a winning city, unfortunately. Celtics, Bruins, Red Sox.
Unfortunately is right.
Title town. Thank you. Love to hear it. Appreciate it.
You must be a huge Jared Carabas guy. And
yeah.
you must be a huge like Barstool Sports Day
Oh
Portland
yeah,
guy. So am I.
big time, big time.
So am I.
Caravis is the boy.
Guilty.
Great on Twitter. I mean, if you follow him, he covers all baseball now, more so. But
Yeah. He's
big
got a
homer.
gig with DraftKings. He's awesome. I like him too, as much as he sometimes pisses me off.
Yeah,
But it's funny. Listen, I love Garrett Cole, but when Jared Carrabis makes fun of Garrett Cole, I do laugh because Garrett Cole, he's a laughable guy, but I love him.
yeah. You can't beat those tweets where it's like, and Garrett Cole strikes out the side, and it's a home run by Rafael Devers.
Yeah, he also does the fat face Garrett Cole, which is, it is what it is.
That's what happens when you sign with the evil empire.
Obviously,
Yeah, well, the Yankees, every single year I say Yankees are going to win the World Series. Garrett Cole is going to win the Cy Young. Maybe this will be the year.
This could
8
be.
days. 8 days.
So you said it 8 days. You got it. Who's your World Series pick? You got any divisional plays that you're looking at locking in? Any future plays on the MLB season coming up?
Oh, I haven't exactly looked at divisional plays, but besides from the Yankees winning the World Series, I won't be too biased. I'm still deathly afraid of the Astros. They're the favorite to win it all. They lost Justin Verlander. I don't think it's going to impact them one bit. Framber Valdez is going to go to that one spot. They got McCullers, who's probably going to be a little healthier this season, Luis Garcia, and of course their manager is unbelievable. But my other play in the NL, this is a team that lost in the World Series last year, and just got better. It's a team that was basically 40% of the World Baseball Classic Team USA, and that's the Phillies. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, that 1-2 punch is dominant, and then that lineup, when Bryce Harper comes back, is it's super scary. I don't think the Dodgers are going to be that good. I think the Mets are going to be good, but that Diaz injury, I feel bad for Mets fans. That Diaz injury kills them. The Braves are going to be good, but I think the Phillies, if Bryce Harper can come back and be that guy who he was last playoffs, that's a really scary team, and it's great value too. I think it's plus 1,700.
Surprised you didn't mention the Padres in that group.
Well, I don't know. I have my doubts about the Padres. Their pitching is great as well. Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish. I don't know about Tatis. Is he even healthy? Is he playing? I think he's suspended half the season.
I thought that too.
But they got Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado. I don't know. I still have my doubts about them. And I don't really watch them that much. I don't watch the Phillies that much either. But just based on time, I don't really watch the Dodgers and Padres at all. And something always seems to happen to them. They always have these talented rosters the past 2 seasons, but they don't really go anywhere.
It'll be fun to watch for sure, though. I love catching those West Coast games late at night if you can. You see Dodgers, Padres, you got all the superstars. It's like a video game out there.
Yeah, Dodgers, they don't really have the pitching anymore, but they still got Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. And yeah, like you said, but they lost their third baseman, Justin Turner. He's now a Red Sox, so we'll see how that affects them.
Yeah, I mean, you said also kind of to get back to a little bit of college basketball, your Penn State Nittany Lions losing in the second round to Texas, giving them a good fight. You seem pretty passionate about them and pretty kind of knowing where the state of that program is with Penn State and how big of a game that was, and Shrewsbury moving on to Notre Dame. Who's your horse in the race now going into Sweet 16 Elite 8 weekend? Who do you think is going to come out on top of March Madness?
I say this every single year, but let me preface this by saying this. If they win this game, there is no doubt in my mind that they will win. Gonzaga. I'm in love with Drew Chimney. He is such a college basketball player. I'm in love with him. If Gonzaga beats UCLA, which I think they will win the championship. And then my 2 teams after that. So whoever wins that game is a real favorite of mine to win the championship. But besides from that game, I like Texas. Unfortunately, they just took down my guys, but got a lot of respect for Texas. I think they're one of the most talented and best teams. I'm not a huge fan of Houston. Alabama, obviously, yes, but something tells me that one of these games, their shooting is going to be really off. I also like Creighton, and that might be a little crazy. So the winner of Gonzaga, UCLA, and then Texas, Creighton, and then Alabama would probably be my order for my top 4 favorites to win. Again, not a huge fan of Houston, but I know the Final Four will be in Houston. So if they can get there, they're going to have a lot of fans there. But yeah, unfortunately, my Penn State Lions, the team that I root for here in State College, they had a fantastic season. I was at the game when they lost to Rutgers a week before the Big Ten tournament started. I thought it was over. And then they won in the Big Ten tournament. They dominated Such a fun season. Jalen Pickett, Andrew Funk. Oh my God, it was incredible. The unfortunate part is they probably will not have that type of success for the next 5 years. But yeah, going back to your original question, Gonzaga.
That game against
I was gonna
Rutgers
say we gotta say something about this game.
was the second I gave up on Penn State basketball, and it actually came to bite me.
Oh, it was like the fifth time this season I gave up on Penn State basketball. They either won those close games and then they took it at the end, or they couldn't make a shot in the last minute. That was terrible. Like the 19-point lead in a must-win game. My friends and I almost cried in the car.
Yeah, I mean, but that run that they went on in the Big Ten
tournament.
tournament.
I luckily hopped back on them. You were so sold off them. I didn't even start sending I stopped even sending them in the plays. I was just taking them because I knew you were so against them. And then every March Madness game, you were taking every team against them. A&M, Texas. Yeah, I'm like.
No, I was riding them. Obviously, there's strong.
I was riding them
there,
through the tournaments.
But I knew they were a veteran team, and I just loved how they finished their regular season. I had a strong feeling they were going to beat Northwestern. What was the order of their games? It was like Illinois, Northwestern, and then Indiana. Yeah, I had a really strong feeling against Illinois, strong feeling against Northwestern. The Indiana game, I had a good feeling it wasn't as strong as the previous two. And then the Purdue one, I had a good feeling they were going to cover, but I didn't think they were going to win, which is exactly what happened. But they almost won. Could you imagine right now if we were talking about Purdue losing in the Big Ten championship to Penn State and then losing in the first round? The coach would be fired.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have lost in the first round if they lost to Penn State in the Big Ten championship, but that would be something crazy.
You're right. They probably would have gotten the 2 seed.
Yeah, and then but that Purdue Fairleigh Dickinson game, Fairleigh Dickinson actually looked like the better team. I don't know if you watched it, but Purdue did not look like they could do anything because they were finding a way to shut down Zach Edey, and they just didn't.
That's all you got to do to get.
But they couldn't hit any shots from the outside. It was like they were shook and they couldn't.
I wasn't watching the whole game. I turned it on at halftime. Once I saw the score, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be one of those ones you gotta watch and know where you were at if this actually happens. And the score just kept going up for Fairleigh Dickinson, and that's obviously everyone loves to see the upset in that situation. When what was it, 2-3 years ago, UMBC over Virginia, and now we get the second time a 16 seed takes down a 1. But we said it, Purdue. If there was a 1 seed to go down, it was going to be Purdue. The way you beat them is if you can somehow stop a 7-4 center. Their guards and their shooting was not really that good all season and throughout the tournament. I wasn't really big on them. I didn't take FDU in that game. I know a lot of people were kind of big on fade in that game, and they love to see those upsets, but I didn't take any of those crazy upsets. I don't know if you had any that you were on, maybe a Princeton or.
No, I don't think so, actually. I might have gave out like a plus 200, but that's not too crazy. There was a game on, I think it was Saturday I think it's Xavier. Who did Xavier play? I had the team that they played against, but then Xavier came back in overtime. I think that was the biggest dog that I gave out.
Was that the Kennesaw State game?
No.
Yeah, Kennesaw State.
Yeah.
So, that is what it is. I tried to hit on the big dogs, just picked the wrong ones, unfortunately. March Madness hasn't been too kind to me. I see Dave Portnoy is absolutely crushing it. But going back to Purdue, Penn State fans, and yes, again, a little bit biased, but we kind of knew Purdue wasn't that good. Like you said, if you could shut down Edey, which is easier to do in the tournament because there's, just a lot more pressure than the Big Ten tournament. If you could shut him down, then you actually have a good chance to win. That FDU coach, I don't know his name, but he put a lot of confidence in that group 2 days before saying, I just watched Purdue tape. I think we could beat them. And I saw a stat on Twitter. Zach Edey, and I think this was Purdue as a whole, they took 1 2-point shot or made 1 2-point field goal in the last 6 minutes of that game. That is pathetic. I don't even know how that's possible.
Yeah, when you have a guy who's 7'4" down low, you got to take more than one 2-point shot in the last 6 minutes. So that explains a lot. But yeah, that FDU coach Tobin Anderson, I think his name is.
Yeah.
He just got signed to or he has a contract with Iona now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good for him. And Rick Pitino from Iona to St. John's, big for my New York friend. Well, actually, don't really have a lot of New York friends, but good for the New York market there in St. John's. Hopefully, he can revive that program. That would be awesome. They got a lot of big-time donors, a lot of people who really bleed that St. John's basketball program.
I was kind of shook up by that Ed Cooley leaving Providence College. He actually lives a town over from me. He's been coaching there for a while, making those Friars into a legitimate contender every year. They knock some people off here and there in March Madness, but he's going down, I think, Georgetown. That was pretty crazy to see as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
leadership
was crazy.
rival.
He put his house on the block like in a second. John Rothstein was on that. That was hilarious. I just saw a picture right before I joined this. Ed Cooley had a meeting. Listen to this, guys. I think this is the weirdest thing ever. He supervised a meeting, or he set up a meeting with every single Georgetown coach. There's 30 different teams. Not sure if that includes the basketball team, but he literally had a meeting with every one of them. They were standing in a gym and he was speaking to them. I think that's a little hardo material. That's a little too hardcore.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah,
That
I
is
did not
very
hear, I
weird.
didn't hear that, but yeah, I don't know if that's my coaching style, but to each their own on that one. But
I'd probably just send a text and
yeah,
see them in the dining hall or something.
yeah. See you guys around.
Yeah. But anyway, Ed Cooley, now that Providence program, they didn't get did they get their new coach? I don't think so.
Yeah, they did
No,
name
they
their guy Kim English, I think, something like that.
Oh.
The former George Mason head coach. I saw that today, so
Okay.
they did fill that spot.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. They were a good team this year and last year. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really follow the Big East that much, but they were definitely a good team.
Yeah. I think that's it. If you got anything for us, maybe
Who do you guys follow in football?
I'm pretty much Pittsburgh based and everything. The NBA, I'm kind of
Pittsburgh.
all over the place. So Steelers, Penguins,
The
Pirates.
Patriots.
I'm a Cowboys
yeah.
fan.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's your name again? Alex. Alex. Do you think if the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, that the Patriots are still going to dominate them?
Do you remember when the Jets got Brett Favre?
I knew you were going to bring that up. Yes, I do. And it was terrible.
History repeats itself is all I'm going to say. But I like with the hoodie at the helm. The Patriots actually held Aaron Rodgers in check in his home stadium last year with Billy Zapp at quarterback. Bailey Zapp, I know I call him Billy Zapp because he's Mr. Irrelevant. Not the actual Mr. Irrelevant. Don't
I hear ya, yep.
Brock Purdy. But yeah, I'm not too worried about those Jets though. Even with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I just think this is more of a move for him to stay in the media than for him as a football player. So I don't know. I know Brady and Stafford had success late in their career going to a new team. I just don't see it happening right away with the Jets.
Well, listen, when the Jets get Aaron Rodgers, when it becomes official, I think it'll become official soon. At least I hope so. And then when they beat the Patriots for the first time in, I believe, 14 games, I will make sure to hit up your phone number and rub it into you. And then you could just like send banners to me or something because I really got nothing else to say besides then. But guys, what plays do you have tonight? I gave out my play, Avalanche and regulation. You guys get any winners? I need to write it down.
See, 99% of the time we have like 5 plays ready or something. But
Yeah, we actually haven't looked at anything so far tonight.
It was just with only 2 games in the NHL tonight. It was tough. Do you guys look at NBA much at all?
So I mentioned I do that NBA talk show, but
Yeah.
I don't watch any NBA and I don't really know anything about it. I just say whatever the hell is on my mind.
Cool. I love
like
that.
How you supposed to do it?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, the NHL tonight. We usually don't go against our home teams too much. Especially the Penguins right now. They're not playing too hot, so we wouldn't lean that way. I know that I lean on the Avs, but more so the over. We've been taking that with Jerry's struggles lately. The Smith not being
I like that too.
as well.
I like that too. And the Avs can score. They've been banged up all season long, but they still got McKinnon, Nichushkin, Cale Makar. I'm not sure if he's going to play tonight, but we all know they still got talent. And then what about any UFC plays? You guys look at the UFC lineup?
We're trying to get more into UFC. What do you got for us?
Well, this one's not mine, but you guys know Matt Tanner?
No.
I don't
You
think
can
so.
look him up on Twitter and TikTok.
Okay.
He has Marlon Cheeto Vera for 4 units. So I'm going to steal that play for myself. I'm not going to say it's a winner. I haven't read anything about it, but I trust him. So Marlon Vera, I think it's plus 145.
Wow, plus.
But yeah, that's really all I got. I hope the Yankees can have a successful year. Thank you once again for having me on. And if any of you guys want to come on my show, feel free. Just hit me up. Yeah, it was a blast.
Ben Wasserman, thank you for coming on, sir. Great to have you. Check out Ben on Instagram, Twitter, all his shows on Twitter, TikTok, and all that jazz. Good to hear from you, Ben. We're hoping to have you back on again soon. I assume one of these guys are definitely going to want to come on your show for sure.
All right, sounds awesome, guys. Be well.
Same to you, Ben. Nice to see you.
Thanks for coming
Thanks.
on, man.
Thanks for
Really
coming on.
appreciate it.
Nice to
You
meet
got
you.
it. Yep, you too.
Alrighty, that was a great interview with Ben, boys. Lots of good stuff to look forward to with him, I think. So let's get into our usual stuff this week. Why don't we start off this week with the NHL? First point I have here is the NHL announces a new on-ice jersey deal with Fanatics starting in 2024-2025 season and will last 10 years. I'm hearing people are not thrilled about this deal. Fanatics has been known in recent years to produce not so great apparel, just not so great material and customer service and things like that. So we're going through another jersey change here. Huff said it in our group message. I feel like Adidas just that jersey deal just happened. But you guys want any comment on this?
I was surprised to see this. I mean, I obviously said it. I felt like the Adidas thing just happened, and I'm just waiting for the NHL to stop fucking around until they just go to Nike like everyone else. But we'll wait and see until that happens, because we see these international jerseys, and when they wear the Nike, they look so much nicer, in my opinion. But I mean, we'll see how these Fanatics jerseys look. When the Adidas ones came out, they obviously looked kind of weird with what they did with like the around the neck thing, but they obviously ended up looking pretty sweet on the ice. So I think they'll make it work, but really comes down to what the players say, I guess.
I don't know why the NHL changes their jerseys so often. You're right, Huff. It's like every year it's something different. CCM, Reebok, Bauer, Nike, Adidas.
They
like,
need to just
come on.
do Nike for like 10 years, like the NFL just did.
Yeah, and stick with it. Fanatics, I mean, why not try them, I guess? I've seen a lot of flack about it on Twitter. People aren't looking forward to it. They think it's going to be high prices and poor quality, but hope for the best. I mean, NHL jerseys are some of the best in all of sports, so hard to screw up.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm very curious about that one. Looking forward to that. The next point I got here in the NHL is that the Colorado Avalanche extend their coach's contract, Jared Bednar, to a 3-year extension. He's expected to be just shy of $5 million a year. So the Avs continuing on their trend with the core they got, it seems. What do you guys think? Any comment on this?
Such a sick team out there in Colorado. I mean, they're going to be contenders for year in and year out. So young with that core. I mean, they have the superstars up front. I know Ben was talking about it a bit, but their depth is really showing up now too. Guys like Dean Malgin, Sam Girard, Bowen Byram. I mean, they have a lot of guys Comfer throughout that lineup that have been stepping up. So they're going to be tough out come the playoffs again.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Avs are going to go on a run in the Western Conference here. I think we see the Stars in Vegas. They obviously have their doubts, or at least I have their doubts with them, and the Avalanche having the experience. And I know they've been injured as of late, but I think this Avalanche team is gearing up for another run. And Jared Bender, obviously at the helm, been pretty successful getting the Stanley Cup for them. Last year? No, I don't know why I had a mind blank on that one, but yeah, Ace, you said it. Colorado's gearing up for another one. I just think they're I could potentially go to the Cup. If not, I think potentially I'd like Vegas, like I said, but Colorado, another one.
Yeah, I've said a few times now that I like Avalanche to start heating up here, and now that they're getting healthy and everything, they're definitely my favorites out west, especially because there's not really anyone to like take over. I don't think who like Dallas, Winnipeg, maybe, Vegas, Edmonton, obviously, but you know what always happens with them. Yeah, I just think the Avalanche take advantage of a weak Western Conference this year.
Good stuff, boys. And the final point I got here in the NHL is that the NHL salary cap negotiations are currently in play right now. The NHL announced that the cap could increase by as much as $4.5 million, which is up from the last announcement of just about $1 million. Currently, $1 million is about the average increase each time they increase, whether it's every year, every few years, I think. Any comment on this? I think it's $4.5 million is a lot compared to recent years.
Does that just mean the NHL is doing very well?
That's what Bettman said. He said the uptick in viewership and
Pay
blah,
players
blah,
a little more.
Yeah.
It's good. It needs to get up a little. So with the other three major sports, I mean, it's obviously clearly the lowest. So
Is it the lowest cap?
oh, easily, easily.
Yeah, probably.
All
right.
the three other sports. I mean, you're not going to see a $30 million $30 million a year in the NHL, and you
But it's the
see
fact
it.
that there's only 15 guys on the roster in the NBA. You know what I mean?
What about the NFL, who has a 64-man roster?
Oh, well, yeah, true. That will.
And the
I know,
NBA is
I'm saying,
definitely
I'm
most
definitely.
profitable.
It's definitely between the NBA and NHL for who's the lowest. Because the
Yeah,
MLB,
just 'cause
there
the
is
MLB
no
doesn't
cap.
have one, yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, the NFL is obviously the number one sport.
Yeah, I'm
and
gonna look that up. Go
the
ahead.
NBA is miles ahead of the NHL. I think, at least. I mean,
I'm just curious.
think about how much more popular it is. Think about how much more it's covered by SportsCenter, by First Take, by everything. You don't see NHL in here. It's
You're
all
right.
about
You're right.
it's all about the NBA.
It says these estimates use the NBA's most recent projection of $134 million salary cap and $162 million luxury tax line for the 2023-2024 NBA season. Let's see what the NHL is. What did I say it was? 134 million? Yeah, dang, the NHL is way lower.
What is it?
I can't really find like a number, but it
Like
seems like
64 or something.
82.5 million.
Yeah, it's not really close.
It's not even 100 million.
Yeah. Well, it's just. I mean, it makes sense though. I mean,
Yeah.
based off revenue, if the more you bring in, the more attention you bring in, the more you can give out.
So they'll be at around basically 86 million, give or take 87. Still low. And like Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, these guys are making 16 million, but I guess, your fourth liners are making league minimum in most cases.
Like barely even touching $1 million.
Yeah.
You see fourth options on a team. You'll see
your third string.
third bench man in making $17 million a year. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's I was gonna say that's why there's league minimum, because you got to be able to figure it in there somehow.
I think that's just going to about wrap up what we got in the NHL for this week. Let's shift our focus over to the NBA. The next one I got is it's been 20 years, but Slam Ball is back. According to Doug Greenberg of Front Office Sports, Slam Ball will return in July and feature a 6-week regular season before a 1-week playoff that will take place in Las Vegas. Lots of big-name investors involved, people involved with like the Sixers and people in that sense. But
Is
this is
gambling
very
involved?
interesting. I believe, yes.
That's awesome.
I was told I was understood that there will be odds on this. And I think it's very interesting. I've watched some old videos of it, and it's
the trampoline
wild.
basketball.
Yeah.
I think we should release lines or release picks on.
I absolutely think we should too. So 6 weeks, 1 week of playoffs. I think that's super interesting. Very short-minded, but that's maybe what they need to get their exposure right. So not try to.
I
When
thought
is
that
this?
was pretty sick. I saw
July.
the highlights of it, but I've never seen that when I was younger.
It's been 20 years, so we would have been, squats
This is way cooler than the XFL. That's all I'm saying.
big time.
Yeah,
but it's
that's what I'm
like
saying.
less
Hopefully it's a
realistic.
little bit better.
Like it's less of a
that's
real
fine.
sport. It's more like a game.
Yeah.
Like the XFL
This is like those
a
3-on-3
real-
NBA leagues.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you
just-
watched the XFL?
what?
Have you watched the XFL?
Flipping through channels, but I've never
Yeah.
watched it.
Like, you can't name anyone other than like Josh Gordon, Ben DiNucci.
Fun fact: I think it was Ben DiNucci. He's the
Uh,
only quarterback that's been benched in like the CFL, the
And the NFL,
XFL.
yeah. But now he's a starter again, and they're good.
I mean, I don't watch it. I have no.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna
I have
ask
no
you. If
idea.
you watch it, I was.
But I'm not
say-
gonna watch Slam Ball either.
I am.
It's on in the middle of July. There's other than baseball.
Okay, yeah. You're kind of desperate at that time, but okay, it's on in.
It starts
November.
as the NBA finals end.
If it's on in November, are you watching it?
No, I'm not watching the XFL if it's on in November.
You're never watching the XFL,
You're right.
but you are watching the XFL in the summer in July.
If it was on, if the XFL, I need like a little
Maybe.
bit of a break from football. Like the fact that the XFL starts as soon as the Super Bowl, whatever, the Sunday after the Super
Yeah,
Bowl. It's too
bad,
fast. Like
bad.
I need like a month, and
Put
then
it this
should
way.
start.
Put it this way. How often do you go to AAA and AHL games? Right? Like nobody. It's fun.
How
here
often are
and
you
there.
watching? Yeah, like how often are you watching?
No,
that?
I
You're not
feel
putting
like
it on
you're-
your
I
TV.
feel
I'll
it-
tell you that.
I feel like you're way more. Like you're definitely going to a AAA game or a minor league baseball game before you go to an XFL game.
Yeah, but you'll throw an XFL game on the TV before you throw a AAA or AHL game on the TV
Yeah,
because football's a better.
All right,
like-
sure,
More
yeah,
yeah.
true. Yeah, I agree.
But
I don't
yeah,
know how
just-
we got on this topic, but Ace, do you follow the XFL at all?
No, but I know my brother went to a game and he said they had a sick beer snake going.
This year?
I mean, it's got to be all about the environment.
No, it was a few years ago. It was was it Defenders, the Washington Defenders, or something?
Yeah.
DC Defenders.
yeah.
Well, yeah, Slam Ball's back. That's how we got on that topic.
Oh yeah,
I'm
fake sports.
I'm in on Slam Ball. I'm excited to see what this is.
I am too. All right, that's it for the NBA. Let's go over to the NFL. We got some signings and different additions and things to cover. The first one I have is the Detroit Lions continue to make additions, signing cornerback C.J. Gardner-Johnson to a 1-year, $8 million deal.
Did you guys see the thing that C.J. Gardner-Johnson said that the skill players on this team that he's on currently are better than any other team he's ever been on or something like that?
The Lions.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, you gotta have confidence going in.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm going to try to find the exact quote,
gas
but
it up going in.
I'm
But I think
interested to...
same thing.
The Lions just keep adding dudes, and it's getting kind of... I think the Lions are gearing up for a big-name free agent quarterback unless they have faith in
No,
Jared
they have
Goff.
faith in Jared Goff. I think they do. They
Jared
really
Goff
do.
is good. I don't like to hate that.
And he's
gets.
young, and the way he plays, he can play at that position forever. He's a pocket passer who will only get better as the years go on with his mind. But they're loading up, and so are the Bears, and then we're going to get all excited for either of them to take over the NFC North, and it's going to be just a battle between the Vikings and the Packers, like it always is. It's tough to say, but I do
What
think
you think? You think that the
Bears-
Lions won't be up for the division this year?
No, I want to say the Bears and Lions are going to be duking it out with all the firepower and the hype around them, and like they're exciting last season. But the way they sputtered out at the end was pretty embarrassing. And I know that there's no Aaron Rodgers, and the Vikings have lost some pieces, but I just feel like the Packers and Lions are still a year or two away, and it's going to be same old, same old. I mean, that Vikings team still has so much talent.
Oh, I completely disagree. I think the Lions are going to win that division this year, and I think the Vikings will be right there, and I don't think it'll be easy, but it's definitely a race between the Lions and Vikings, in my opinion. I don't think the Packers are going to be anything.
The Packers' defense and their run game is really good, though. It'll be interesting. I mean, I hope you're right. I would like to see the Lions win the division, but they're the Lions, and every time we have any hope, they seem to crush it in our palms like the Cleveland Browns. So, I'll still have to see. Who do you think had a better offseason, though, the Bears or the Lions so far?
Bears. They're just getting draft picks. Draft picks
Yeah,
are more
I guess
pleasing.
you could say the
I'll take
Bears,
draft
but
picks.
All right, let's go over it real quick. The Bears
Lions
added
moves-
the
The
Bears added all those picks. They added the receiver on the outside, DJ Moore. They added Donta Foreman. They added Tremaine Edmonds, and they added some other pieces of their defense. The Lions lost Jamal Williams, but they added
David
believe,
Montgomery from the
David
Bears.
Montgomery. Did they ever add a receiver?
No.
They added defense. They added a lot to their secondary. I know that.
CJ.
Yep. They added
That's-
another guy,
yeah,
a
it's huge.
corner. I think a corner from Emmanuel Mosley, maybe.
Cam Sutton from the Steelers.
Yeah.
So they did get a
added lot.
receiver.
No, he's a corner.
I'm thinking of
Sutton.
Cortland Sutton.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that's a tough call. I'm gonna go with the Bears though here, but the Lions were a better team from the start. They had less holes to fill.
I
So
think
they're
the
a more
Lions.
complete team.
I think the Lions moves are going to be more profitable in the end. I think if you're giving
In the end,
if you're giving a grade, I think that you're going to say that the Bears have a better grade.
Yeah.
But for this season, I think it's definitely more profitable for the Lions. Their moves.
yeah,
the
I'd agree
Bears are
there.
more of a
But
two-year
Tremaine
plan.
Edmonds is
But,
going to
I
make
mean-
that defense. Tremaine Edmonds is such a big ad.
I
And
wanted him
DJ
so
Moore,
bad.
DJ Moore as well. And then think about the picks they have this year too. I mean, they're gonna get some good bodies in the first round. They got I think getting rid of Montgomery and adding Foreman was a good move. Foreman and Herbert's a good duo back there with Fields. I mean, it'll be interesting, but I just have this feeling in the back of my head where those two teams are going to be irrelevant again for some reason, even though that this is literally the time for them to open the door.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. None of us really have any faith in this Vikings team.
I think I can't have faith in Kirk Cousins. I don't think.
I just said I think it'll still be them. But
I think they'll be good. They'll probably be 10, 11 wins, but I don't think they're going to win that division. I don't.
I am on the Justin Fields bandwagon.
I don't think that they're going to be very good.
I
either.
want the Bears and Lions to fight for it, but I just feel like the Vikings or Packers.
It would be so much more
squeak it
fun
out.
because they've both been so bad for so long. At least in our lifetime, they've both been bad since the Bears went to the Super Bowl. When we were, I was in probably elementary school when they played Peyton
Brian
Manning.
Urlacher.
Yeah, Brian Urlacher, Peyton Manning. And, I don't know. I just think it would be cool to see the Bears Lions, but because it's been Packers for so long, and now you see Aaron Rodgers move on. And Jordan Love could step in there. Not saying the Packers are the greatest team in the world, but they have the winning mentality. They still have a good defense. They didn't
have a
really
great
add
team
much,
around
but
them.
I was going to say they still have Aaron Jones. I know they lost Alan Lazard and Rodgers, but they still have options up there in Green Bay that we
When
don't
was
really.
Love drafted? Wasn't he like a
Dude, like
top
he's
20
in his.
pick?
He's in like he was top 20. I think he was 20th overall. Isn't this
He
like his
was,
fourth or third year?
Third.
Yeah. Think about how high of a draft pick that was. He has to be good, right?
Where'd he go to school? Utah
Utah
State or
State.
something?
What a weird pick. Imagine if they added something else. Maybe they would have a Super Bowl under their belt. But what are you going to do?
Good stuff on that one, boys. I got another point here in the NFL. Darius Slay and the Philadelphia Eagles have agreed on terms on a 2-year contract extension. There were talks about Slay moving on from Philadelphia, but the sides were able to get a deal done to keep Slay as an Eagle. Any comment on this? Next up, 2-time Super Bowl champion wide receiver Cole Hardman has reached an agreement to join the New York Jets.
Overrated.
Yeah, I was just talking to my friends who are Jets fans about this, and they were like, "This team's so sick. They have so many options." I'm like, "Yeah, this is like a nice little depth piece, but he's really not that good."
He's
of
just a burner.
ad.
He has big playability.
He's a special teams player, honestly.
Yeah, he's a specialist. You give him the end around the screen pass, and he breaks it really, really long. Or he's a punt return specialist. I think he's a Pro Bowler for his return skills.
Yeah,
So not a bad. Brian, what was the price tag on this signing again?
couldn't tell
It
you.
didn't say when I put it in.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Can't give up too much for him, but to knock off another point you probably have on the list, Jesse, I like the move that the Jets made by shipping out Elijah Moore for a pair of picks. I think they got 42 and 75. I mean, that's a haul for Elijah Moore. I know that he's got some skill and he's gonna be a good 2 over there, but
Yeah, the Jets
What?
now have back-to-back picks in the second round with that the pick they got back from the Browns for that trade.
I meant to say that to Ben earlier. I mean, great move by the Browns, but the thing is, what a move by the Jets. That's what I'm worried about is that youth they can keep building on the defense and the O-line with some high picks.
Yeah, absolutely, and that'll, I guess, skip over our next point.
Yeah, and the next one I got is Aces. New England Patriots have signed former Penn State and Miami Dolphins tight end Mike Gesicki on a 1-year deal worth $9 million. With that, they've also signed running back James Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, Corvette. We're going to be seeing some big numbers from Juju at the same price tag as Jacoby Myers, which is a slap in the face. But let's be real. Juju Smith-Schuster is a better wide receiver than Jacoby Myers. So if you're going to spend that money, might as well get him. I still think they need to make that move to make him an elite number 2 option. They're going to get D-Hop. And I bet you it's going to be similar to that deal that Brandon Cooks was involved with, where it's a 5th and a 6th for D-Hop when they originally were seeking a 2. So hopefully Bill Belichick can get that done and then make that Juju signing look even better. Because when you have Stevenson and Robinson, if you get D-Hop, Juju, and Parker and Thornton with Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki, Mac Jones has the weapons he's been lacking so far. So way to be so far. Patriots still expecting a lot more. So
I was
excited to see
going
how
to
this
say,
plays
yeah,
out.
all you need is a quarterback. And you guys are
dude, I really like these pieces that you guys are adding, but you still have Mac Jones at quarterback. Like this team
I
does
don't
look.
think he's that bad.
Dude, he's just.
Think about Jalen Hurts coming into last year. He's in the same exact spot. They put weapons around him, and he went on to a Super Bowl career.
Mac Jones is definitely not Jalen Hurts, and I think you know that.
I mean, at the beginning of last year, people were very low on Jalen Hurts. They were pretty high on Mac Jones after a very solid rookie season. So I think with Matt Patricia, at the helm, you're going to catch a lot of heat. And he was injured throughout most of the year, sophomore slump. I believe in all of that. But obviously, time will tell, and this is an important season for him. But they're putting the right pieces around him to make sure it's a thing. I know the offensive line is still a worry, though.
I think the Patriots will be pretty good this year. I think they'll be maybe a 9-10 win. I mean, actually, I don't think 10 wins. Maybe a 9 win team. But you're also in a really tough division, and obviously, loaded the AFC is. So,
they were a 9-win team this year, and they got a lot better.
I don't think you guys will be that much better.
Time will tell. It'll be a fun division for sure. Good
Yeah,
signings though so far. I'm
tough
proud
games
of
against the
Patriots.
Jets now. It's just hard to
Every
do it.
divisional game's tough. Patriots can lose to anybody and beat anybody, but need more moves. Bring me D-Hop. Come on, bring him on.
I keep seeing he's going to Dallas.
Yeah, I think they already filled their void with
we
Brandon
just got
Cooks.
Brandon Cooks.
I know. I don't. Who else? So what? CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Brandon
Gallup.
Cooks, Noah Brown, and then
Ferguson at
the young guy they drafted too, the rookie receiver.
I forget the other place I saw somewhere said or for D-Hop.
Baltimore.
Was it Baltimore?
Yep.
Yeah, no one wants to go there. They don't throw the ball. Like, no receivers go to Baltimore.
Can't wait to see them sign Lamar on the cheap. But they have to. But I think this is really just helping them out in the long run with everybody not beating. But we'll see with that.
With that, we got veteran wide receiver Adam Thielen has signed with the Carolina Panthers. What do you guys think about this one? Anything?
Carolina kind of just keeps silently adding people. We said they gave up a lot for that first overall pick, but now they're sitting there with their chance to take their guy. And Thielen said on the Pat McAfee show he wanted to go somewhere where he thought he had a chance at winning a Super Bowl, and he thinks Carolina is the right spot.
He doesn't even know who his quarterback is yet.
Yeah, and he doesn't even know
Yeah,
who
but
his
I
quarterback
heard
is.
that, and like the first thought is just like what Huff said, like, oh my god, like Carolina, no way. But their division's wide open, and that conference as a whole is terrible. I mean, anybody can get into the playoffs there. Anybody can win that division, and then you can get to the NFC Championship and punch your ticket.
Their favorite-
You just gotta beat the Niners or the Eagles.
They're supposedly going with C.J. Stroud, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think that they can definitely make the playoffs. Obviously, in that weak division. But even if you get past that first that wild card round, you run into that Eagles team or even that Cowboys. Obviously,
The
the
Niners.
playoffs aren't very good. Yeah, you see the Niners. I just don't. Come on, C.J. Stroud in his first season with the Carolina Panthers. I mean, I don't really think the Carolina Panthers are.
No, I agree, but at least he'll have competitive season with that lowly talented division. So he should be able to feast down there.
I actually think the Panthers probably the best team, top to
Because of
bottom
the
roster
defense.
in that division.
I actually
definitely,
think the Falcons. I think it's going to be the Falcons that come out of it somehow.
The Saints,
But
the Saints just keep silently adding people. Now they got Derek Carr. Like
They're
Saints
all
are gonna be
good in their own ways, but they're bad in a lot of ways. I'll say that.
It's definitely the weakest division.
But they all have some strengths, some hidden talent, some defensive studs, some young guys that can deliver. So
yeah,
it's
but
really
they're
a
all
lot of the
still
unknown.
bad. Like they're all still
Yeah, they're-
bad football teams. Like you could
Yeah,
say the
that's
pieces that they
The
have.
National
but
Football Conference.
we'll see what Derek Carr can do in a weak division, coming from the best division of football.
I think I don't know. I think the Saints they just keep. My cousin made a point the other day. Kamara and Jamal Williams is like their new version of when they would bring in Mark Ingram, and Mark Ingram would go for 60 yards and 2 touchdowns on the goal line. Like that's Jamal Williams. I think that's a really good ad for the Saints.
Alrighty, let's move on to our next one. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers informed running back Leonard Fournette on this past Friday that they would be releasing him. Do we think he ends up somewhere? Do you think he still has it in him?
He'll end up somewhere, but I don't
hope
know.
he goes to a contender. I like playoff Lenny.
I just feel like he's never been what he should have been. Coming out of college, he was.
He was him in
He's a
Jacksonville.
Super Bowl champion.
He was him in Jacksonville. He was good. That year that they beat the Steelers and went up to
They lost to the Patriots.
They lost to the Patriots.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
quarterback was Blake Bortles. Like
That defense was also incredible.
yeah,
No, but
that's
he
what
was a stud. And
Yeah.
He did have a big hand in that playoff run for the Bucks when they won the Super Bowl. I know he didn't have the big game in the Super Bowl as Ronald Jones more so, but he had that good run. He scored a touchdown like every week.
yeah.
No,
I like
he's a good running back. I'm not taking
Yeah.
anything away from him, but
Yeah.
he's not what he was supposed to be.
his play style.
He's going to get signed after Ezekiel Elliott, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Where do you think
And
your
you know,
boy
you know
Zeke's
what I
going?
think? You know what I think about
actually couldn't
Fournette?
even give you an educated guess. I don't know.
I feel like Fournette is going to be one of those guys that gets signed midway through the season when someone gets injured. I
saw
think
the,
Ezekiel
You
Elliott
think?
will go to I could see Elliott signing before the season for sure with someone like the Rams.
Elliott will definitely be somewhere before the season starts. He'll definitely have a home. But
I'm trying to think of where I could see
Yeah,
Zeke
that's what
go.
I'm trying to think about it right
Rams.
now.
Rams.
Ravens.
Denver.
I would like that.
No, they have Javonte.
Javante and Javonte
J.K.
Williams
Dobbins
Zeke.
and Javonte Williams are good running backs. I really think the Bills or the Rams are the two teams that are looking for one.
I don't think it's a good fit in Buffalo.
No, but the Rams with McVay and that division's pretty wide open too. You know.
The Bills seem so confident in that they just lost Singletary to I believe the Texans, but they seem very confident in what's his name? James Cook and Zach Moss.
Yep.
They seem pretty confident in that duo.
I think they have Hines under contract still as well.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and you guys quickly alluded to this, I think, but the Houston Texans have traded wide receiver Brandon Cooks to the Dallas Cowboys for 2 draft picks. Mackie, your Dallas Cowboys getting Cooks. What do you think?
Yeah, obviously he was in Houston last year, so he had Davis Mills at quarterback, obviously, but I just feel like he hasn't been very relevant. I don't know. It's a nice little depth piece for
Dude,
Dak, but
you know when he plays, he's like one of the most consistent fantasy football players.
he's also like he's a huge deep threat.
Yeah, when that's like a stat I saw that whenever he plays, he's one of the most consistent wide receivers in fantasy football over like the last 5 years. When playing, because he is not that consistent with whether it's injuries or last year he just decided he didn't want to play for the Texans for good reason. They weren't a good team, but
It's coming in as third option too, so
yeah, I think that's a
little
great
depth
ad.
piece. Yeah, it's a good ad. It's if we're not going to get D-Hop, then
I think D Hop's good, but I think we've seen the best of D Hop.
how old is he?
They're 29.
I don't think he's 30 yet.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, keep writing him off. That's definitely somebody I would like to add to my team.
30.
When healthy, he's uncoverable. Matchup nightmare. You know how much better he makes everybody else too? How good does Juju Smith-Schuster become as your number 2 option when you have DeAndre Hopkins?
I've said it. He's a number 2 receiver.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's what Jacoby Myers was too. So, who would you rather have for that price, Myers or Juju?
Probably Juju.
Juju.
Yeah.
Juju.
Juju's more explosive.
You don't want to say it at all.
No, I don't want
And
to say it. I don't like either of them.
That's when you know it's true because you're still saying it.
Yeah.
Myers is just a solid.
Yeah,
chain mover.
I'd rather just not have my player pass the ball to the other team. You know. So.
Yeah, that definitely gets you kicked out quick. See ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way
It
out.
was an
Mac
inside
Jones.
job.
Yeah, Chandler Jones. Geez, literally sick highlight. All right, move on. Next point.
Well, that's going to wrap up everything we have in the NFL this week. It's time to get to what we all are waiting for yet again, the college basketball March Madness tournament. First 2 rounds of March Madness concluded the other night, so it's time for the Sweet 16 starting tomorrow, March 23rd. So Thursday, probably when you're listening to this. Lots of upsets happening in the first 2 rounds of the tournament. All right, and we have a bunch of upsets that happened in the first 2 rounds of the tournament. A couple that we already reviewed with Ben. Princeton taking down number 2 and one of our national championship picks, Arizona Wildcats, as well as the number 16 seed. How do you even say
Fairleigh?
Fairleigh Dickinson becomes just the second number 16 seed in March Madness history to win their first round matchup. They took down number 1 seed Purdue. With that, we also went over Penn State defeating number 7 seed Texas A&M in their first round matchup. So we reviewed a couple of these with Ben, but the first one that we want to review is number 11 seed Pitt Panthers take down number 6 seed Iowa State in their first round matchup in a dominating effort. Iowa State struggled to get things going, and the experienced Pitt team capitalized. Pitt would go on to lose their next game in the next round against Xavier, but good effort by Pitt in the tournament this year. What do you guys got about this one? Anything?
Yeah, obviously we had Pitt in both of these games, and we had them plus the points in Iowa State. Nice win outright. Iowa State obviously played one of the worst games of college basketball I've ever seen, and Pitt was all over them that game. So good game to be on the Pitt Panthers there. Capitalized on that one. And then the next game we had them, I think it was, what was the plus points against Xavier?
5.5.
5.5 against Xavier. And once it got to like 20 at the end of the first half or 14 at the end of the first half, I knew we were going to be fighting for a backdoor cover. And we got really close at the end. And then the last couple garbage points kind of put it out. But Pitt would go on to lose. I'm not too big on this Xavier team, so.
See that we overlooked that Xavier team too much, and I think we got a little too high on Pitt. Definitely. They beat a really mediocre Iowa State team. Obviously coming out of the Big 12, they're pretty good, but West Virginia beat them twice, and I just didn't think they were very strong to begin with.
Iowa State scored 42 points in that first round game. Pitt gave up 42 points in the first half against.
I think it was more than 42.
I know, I'm saying, but it was more than 42 in the first half to Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, we overlooked Xavier.
That Kunkel kid couldn't miss a 3 in the first half.
Dude, they're good. They're definitely one of the best teams in this tournament.
I'm just not big on them. I don't think they're.
They are. They're scary. And
yeah.
this Xavier Texas game is going to be incredible. I think it's going to definitely be the best game in the Sweet 16. Could be the best game in the
absolutely.
tournament.
I like Houston, Miami a lot too.
They're all good matchups. UCLA
Yeah.
Gonzaga is a good matchup as well.
We'll get into the matchups. We'll just go over the Virginia game, and then we'll get into the matchups.
Yeah, good stuff. The number 13 seed Furman takes down number 4 seed Virginia in their opening round matchup. Furman went on to lose in the next round to San Diego State. What do you guys think about this one?
This is the game that I caked on. I picked it in all my brackets. I bet it. I bet it money line. I bet it spread. And this is just my one pick and it was the second game of the whole tournament, so it got me like really excited. But this was that one game that I picked that I just absolutely caked on. There's always that one game every year.
I don't know much about Furman. I had Virginia in a couple of my brackets. I think I put that in for ours, and obviously Furman. I did have San Diego State in the next game -5. That was me and Jesse, or I think it was at the day that we were at the casino. Yeah, I took San Diego State -5.5 that day against Furman, and San Diego State obviously cashed that for me. But good game by Furman in the first game against Virginia. Virginia just keeps on struggling in the first round of March, and them and Purdue not really looking too hot in the past couple of years.
Don't
but
forget Arizona.
yeah, true, Arizona too. Well, fuck them. I don't even want to talk about them.
Yeah, brutal. Both of our futures are
Yeah,
just wiped.
and Baylor fucking blew it. That was tough too, but yeah, you win some, you lose some. So fucking a plus 2,000 future, like, I mean, come on, it's March Madness. It's the hardest. This is definitely the hardest sport to hit a future.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like every future is just incredibly hard to hit.
Yeah, but like, if you were to take it from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, I feel like college basketball is the hardest.
Yeah, you're right.
Good thing I wrote on your Baylor pick for my bracket. I had one bracket with Baylor, one with Arizona.
Yeah, they were
those
tough.
Both got blown up. Really.
Dude, my bracket is worse than it's ever been.
Yeah, this is the worst. This is the worst bracket I've ever had.
But I'm doing good gambling.
What's crazy
yeah,
is
exactly. So I'm like, fuck the bracket.
I've been hitting on our pick, so on the Bucks I've been doing well. But what's crazy is in the brackets, I'm in first place in 2 of them. The 2 that I'm in, and my champion's already out though, so my potential points is not very good.
Yeah, so your max points just
very low. We did so well with the underdogs, but couldn't pick the studs.
That's how it always is.
Tough scene here in the first 2 rounds of March Madness, but Sweet 16 starting on Thursday. Some of these matchups, including, how do you guys want to go over these? Like, do you want me to just say them and then you talk about it, or do you want me to just run through them and then
say it.
Put up on
highlight the
FanDuel.
ones you think are.
there's odds. Oh my god.
And I feel like we should give
I'm not used to this.
a Final Four prediction.
Yeah, just put up on FanDuel. We can literally look at odds and talk odds right now.
Already in the first matchup that we're going to review here for the Sweet 16 is Michigan State University versus Kansas State. Kansas State, the number 3 seed. Michigan State, the number 7 seed. Michigan State is favored in this matchup at 1.5 points. Their money line sitting at -126. Kansas State money line at +105. In the over/under sitting at 137.5. What do you guys think about this one?
I've been big on this Kansas State team throughout this year. Obviously, from the Big 12, battle tested, but I'm going to go with Michigan State here. Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans to get things done. I like the 1.5. I'm going to take the 7 seed Michigan State Spartans here. I don't know how you're feeling on this one. I really like this play.
Yeah, I'm definitely on Michigan State as well. Just Tom Izzo in March is just scary. He always finds a way to get it done. And this Kansas State team, I think it's just seen the end of its road. They had a very successful season. It's a very good team. That was a huge game against Kentucky. Kentucky just always finds a way to blow it, in my opinion. I think it was more Kentucky blowing that than Kansas State winning it. But
I mean, from right now, if you could do a second chance bracket, Michigan State's my pick out of the East to go to the Final Four. The other game's Tennessee and Florida Atlantic. So
I think the winner of this game goes to the Final Four.
Yeah, and I have Michigan State, so I really like that play. So definitely stay tuned to see if that ends up on the card. But that's probably one of my more favorite plays coming up. But we'll get into this next game here.
All right, this next one I have is number 8 Arkansas versus number 4 UConn. UConn coming in as the favorite at 4.5 points in this matchup. Their money line sitting at -184. Arkansas money line at +152 in the over/under, sitting at 139.5.
This is the hardest region I think to come out of at this point in time. with UCLA and Gonzaga on the other side. I think both those teams are no one you want to see in an Elite Eight game. But I think UConn definitely has the edge here in this game. Arkansas, huge win against Kansas. Don't take anything away from them. But Bill Self was out, and in a game like that, when it comes down to it, 2-minute drill, you need your head coach. You're heavily successful head coach. Everyone knows how good of a coach Bill Self is, but I think that's what it came down to. Kansas, tough loss, but Arkansas, hard fought win. I think it comes their road ends here. UConn's just too dominant. That guy Sabato, whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Sabato,
he's a
down
beast.
low.
He's a beast.
You need Drew Timme is the only chance to stop him, I think, and I think that's what we're going to see in an Elite Eight game.
I agree.
But yeah, I like UConn in that game.
I'm the same way. Do you like the 4.5? Because I think Arkansas has the ability to keep it close, and UConn, I mean, they've pulled away in their other 2 games. I think they're 2-0 against the spread in the tournament so far, but
Arkansas hangs around, dude, and they're so well
That's
coached.
what I mean.
They're so well coached, but I don't know. Like in games like this, you see like you can get 6 free throws at the end of a game. Like it can be a 1-point game, and it can really end an 9 point game because you just keep fouling after you miss a 3 after 3. So 4.5 point spread here is really sketchy.
This could be a good game to take that -180 money line and put it in a nice 2-legger if you have another play you like. I do see value in them just winning the game, but the 4.5 could be tough.
4.5 scares me, and I don't like it on the other side because of free throws.
Exactly. So I think just take the UConn money line here and find something else to put it with.
Solid stuff there, boys. Another Thursday night matchup. Florida Atlantic, number 9, coming in to play Tennessee at number 4. Tennessee is the favorite here at 4.5 points. Their money line sitting at -235. Florida Atlantic's money line sitting at +190, and the over/under sitting at 129.5.
Speaking of a nice little 2-legger, I think this is a perfect ad. Florida Atlantic is a good team. They've been playing pretty well. They had a nice win against Memphis. Nice little shot hit with 2 seconds left, I think. Memphis just didn't have enough time to go down court and get a bucket. And then they come in again. Tennessee comes in against Duke and shuts them up. I think it was 91% of the country was on Duke. Tennessee, they silenced me and they've silenced the country, I think. And I think that they'll definitely get past this Florida Atlantic team. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I think a nice little 2-legger with UConn and Tennessee could definitely be.
Yeah, I like that. I think Tennessee, they were injured towards the end of the season. I think Ziegler is his name that went down for them, but that Vescovi, that big white dude, I like him for Tennessee. And
the shooters, man.
Yeah, I think Tennessee's the team that moves on here. That could be a nice play. Let me see what odds are on that.
I'm not high on Florida Atlantic. I'm not.
That's a nice +120 2-legger. That could be a play.
Got a nice 16 seed in the round of 32.
Well, let's wrap up these Thursday night matchups with number 3 Gonzaga and number 2 UCLA. Ben hinted in on this game a little bit. UCLA -1.5. Their money line sitting at -120, and the over/under sitting at 145.5. Who do you guys like in this one?
I hear a lot of people keep saying they're not scared of all the injuries with this UCLA team. I am. I'm going to go with Gonzaga. I think Drew Timme and the Gonzaga gets it done here. Gets over the hump, and I know they haven't had the recent success to get the job done. I kind of agree with them. They could be a dark horse to win this thing, and if they can get past UCLA, I really like their chances. So I'm going to take Gonzaga. I'll take the money line +100 I have on FanDuel, so give me Gonzaga money line here.
I like Gonzaga as well just because I think Drew Timme is just playing for his life right now. We saw in the round of 32, he came out they were down 5 to TCU, and he just had an incredible first 5 minutes, and it just changed the whole trajectory of the game. We hit TCU on a crazy backdoor, +4.5 or +5 or whatever we had, but Gonzaga looks really good, and this Gonzaga team resembles Arizona a lot, and UCLA struggled a lot with Arizona this year. Arizona won 2 out of 3, and I just think that this Gonzaga team is a little better than that team even. So with the experience with Drew Timme and just this Gonzaga organization, I like them to get it done against UCLA.
We're talking about the Sweet 16 here. 4 games on Thursday, 4 on Friday. Let's jump into some of these matchups on Friday. San Diego State University, number 5 seed against number 1 seed Alabama. Alabama is the favorite here at 7.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 335, and the over-under sitting at 137.5. What do we think about this one? Do we think San Diego State stands any chance? Maybe even that's 7.5 points.
I'm going to take Bama with the 7.5. Mackie, I know you've been kind of skittish on them with the points, but they've been so dominant throughout this tournament. I can't really fade them in this spot. And I did have San Diego State last round against Furman. I don't think that was really a legitimate comparable matchup to what they're about to deal with this week on Friday night. I'm going to go Bama minus 7.5.
I was at a certain point not really high on this Bama team, but how can you not be at this point? They're just blowing out every team that gets in front of them. They ran through the SEC tournament. They've won both these tournament games by 20 plus at least. They look really good. And I don't like the San Diego State team either. I haven't been on them either game yet. They've proved me wrong a little, but I still don't think that they're very good. I like the points too. I do. I think Alabama covers 7.5 here. I think it gets away from them late in the second half.
Alrighty, the next one I have here is number 5, Miami, Florida versus number 1, Houston. Another 7.5 point spread for Houston. Their money line sitting at minus 315, and the over/under sitting at 138.5.
I love Miami with the points. I really like this Miami team, and
I think Miami wins a game plus 250.
I don't want to jump on that yet. I'm definitely going to be looking into that, but I mean, this Miami team, ever since they got their legs under them after that first game, they didn't look good in that round of 64 game against Drake. I think, yeah,
that was a tough matchup. We said that. They ended up pulling out force minus 2.
They snuck it out. They definitely snuck it out by the skin of their teeth, but they looked great in the round of 32, and I really think this team is very good. And this Houston team, we've seen them struggle. They lost to Memphis in the AAC championship game. They don't play the competition that these teams play all season. So, this team can come out a little slow, maybe not know what they're dealing with right away, and I really think Miami's good enough to hold on to this and beat this Houston team.
Yeah, I love the points. I will probably take the money line too. That 250 money line, I think that's a little disrespectful for Miami.
Kind of
Nigel Pack,
sketchy,
dude,
to be
Wong,
honest.
I know it is, but like
Wong is a dog.
Yeah,
He was in
dude,
foul trouble though.
I know, but I if they win this game and I don't take this money line, I'm gonna say you literally missed out on. You know what I mean? If
You're
Houston,
okay with losing money on
this,
game.
yeah. If this is a trap, I'm falling in it. That's fine, because I really don't. I'm not sold on this Houston team anymore. They've I've been all over with them. Usually when I'm on their games, I'm on the wrong side, but I'm gonna go Miami here. This next game, this line is weird. I don't know what I think about this game because this has had a lot of movement. I don't know if you saw this when it first opened up, but Jesse, go ahead.
This is very interesting. Yeah, number 6 Creighton and number 15 Princeton. Creighton is the favorite, 9.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 520, and the over/under sitting at 138.5. What's the reason for that? That's a pretty high spread.
I don't know. I saw even lower. I think this opened up at. I'm trying to find the number. It opened up at. Mackie, I don't know if you want to give your take on this game, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really. I like this Princeton team. I took him money line and I took him spread last in the round of 32. I just wasn't really high on Missouri. I think I didn't like them in that game. But this team can shoot and they're hot right now. So I don't know. I'm definitely too scared to take them. But I do like this Creighton team. I think they're rolling right now, coming off a huge win against obviously your national champion
Baylor Bears.
The Baylor Bears, obviously one of the better teams in the country.
Creighton's definitely scary. They have what's their big guy's name?
I'm
blanking on his name. They always have
the
Nemhard.
white guy.
Yeah,
the big white guy.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. You know who you're talking about. The lengthy guy.
Yeah. I forget his name, but
that Creighton team is good, and they have shooters on that team as well. I know a lot of people that have been high on them from the beginning of the season. I didn't really see it until we got here, but they are really good. I really like that team.
I wish this line was like 6.5, and I'd take Creighton, but I don't know if I like it enough to take Princeton plus 9.5.
I don't think Princeton wins this game.
Yeah, no. This is probably one of the ones I'll be staying away from this weekend.
Yeah, very interesting matchup there. Biggest spread of this weekend. The next matchup I have, the last matchup of the Sweet 16 on Friday night. Number 3, Xavier versus number 2, Texas. Texas is the favorite here at 4.5 points. Their money line sitting at minus 182, and the over-under sitting quite high at 148.5.
Yeah, I mean, finish it off with the best game, like I said earlier. These two teams are really going to battle it out. Hoff, I know which side you're going to be on because you don't like Xavier.
Dude,
but
I don't know. This line is kind of throwing me off, and I just
why? I think if anything,
I think it's going to be a close game. And
I like Texas. I think they're my national champion right now. I coming into the tournament, I thought they could have lost that first game, but they just blew out Colgate.
Yeah.
They took care of business against Penn State. They made it a little. They had a
They had a scare against
They were a
Penn
little
State.
scary at the end, but they were in control for 99% of that. I like this Texas team. I think they win this game.
Yeah, I like Texas here. I don't know why I'm so kind of on the fence about it. I think you talked me into Xavier a little bit, and
Dude, they're good. They're very good. Don't overlook them.
yeah, that's the thing. This will be a game time decision, but I definitely lean on Texas. I think the 4.5. It'll be interesting to see which way this line moves. If we can get some extra points for Xavier, but if this goes deeper for Texas, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see which way this goes.
I don't think we see a scenario where it gets deeper. What's that, 4.5 right
Yeah.
now? I don't think we see 5.
Yeah, I mean, it is Friday night. It's the last game of the Sweet 16, so.
Yes, the Sweet 16 happening this Thursday and Friday. The Elite 8 following that. We got lots more college basketball to cover when we come back next week. But I think that's just about all we got on the docket this week. You guys got anything else to add?
No, I think that's going to do it. Definitely thanks for listening, per usual. Definitely like, subscribe, follow wherever you get your social media content at. Special shout out to Ben, our boy Ben, for coming on and first big time special guest, and definitely looking forward to doing some work with him and getting a couple collabs picks in with him in the future. So stay tuned with what's going on there. Jesse, I'll hand things back off to you, but other than that, not much. See you guys next week.
Good stuff from me. Ace, Mackie, you guys got anything else to add?
Yeah, that was another great episode, another great week of sports in the books. Excited for these picks from Mackie and Hoff to come out. So I have some college basketball to bet on. They just gave you some great insight there. So know those numbers will stay elite. And you have my word that by the next time we meet next week, this NHL card will be picking it up, just sitting around 1 unit right now. So we'll look to be getting that back towards the double digits in NBA as well. So let's stay tuned and we'll keep eating.
Absolutely.
Definitely agree, Ace. We're definitely gonna pick it up in the NHL. Coming up with a big week. That's all for me. Yeah, just looking forward to this round of 16, Sweet 16, and the Elite 8. So
yeah, big weekend of college basketball coming up. Stay tuned to the social media for all the cards. Light NHL and NBA night tonight, so looking to get those back rolling throughout the weekend, like Ace said. And but that's gonna do it. Thanks for listening. Like I said, we'll see you guys next week.
And that's going to do it for us on this episode of Hit the Books. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do what we do here. So please like, share, and subscribe wherever you can. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for our plays each and every night in the NHL, NFL, MLB, NBA, college basketball, and college football. Thank you again, and see you next week.